Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North, and it could change the entire landscape of the NFL. We're talking about a seismic shift that could significantly impact the Baltimore Ravens' pursuit of another Super Bowl title. This isn't just about a player swap or a coaching change. It's about a potential revolution in how the Ravens approach their future, and it could leave their division rivals stumbling for years to come. We're bringing this information straight to you firsthand, with in-depth analysis and detailed insights. But before we dive deep into this game-changing development, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens supporter, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show the world that Ravens Nation is alive and thriving. Let's help each other reach that milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Share this video and spread the word among your fellow Ravens fans and NFL enthusiasts alike. Now, without further ado, let's get to the news that's shaking up the league. Now, Ravens fans, buckle up and get ready because what's happening behind the scenes right now could be one of the most transformative moves in recent NFL history. Rumors are swirling around the league that Baltimore is in serious negotiations to acquire none other than Justin Herbert, the young and supremely talented quarterback from the Los Angeles Chargers. And let me tell you, if this deal goes through, it could be a game-changer not just for Baltimore, but for the entire AFC landscape. It's rare to see a franchise with the storied history of Baltimore eyeing a quarterback like Herbert, especially considering what he could bring to the table. The context of the Baltimore Ravens franchise and their current state asterisk before we analyze the potential impact of this monumental move. It's essential to understand the Ravens' recent history, their identity, and what they've been striving for. Since their inception in 1996, Baltimore has been a franchise built on a foundation of stout defense, disciplined offense, and a relentless attitude. Led by legendary figures like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and more recently, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens have often been the embodiment of resilience and strategic brilliance. Baltimore's most iconic era arguably came during the early 2000s and the 2010s, when their defense was a fortress, culminating in their Super Bowl XXXV win in 2000 and their 2012 championship under head coach John Harbaugh. The 2012 season was a masterclass in defensive dominance, with the Ravens allowing just 3 points per game, a number that still ranks among the best in franchise history. Their defense, anchored by players like Terrell Suggs, Haloti Ngata, and Ed Reed, was suffocating, forcing turnovers and creating game-changing plays. Offensively, Baltimore has always been a team that adapts to its personnel. The emergence of Lamar Jackson as a dual-threat quarterback transformed their offensive identity from a conservative, run-focused team to a dynamic, unpredictable attack. Jackson's MVP season in 2019 showcased his ability to extend plays, break tackles, and make explosive throws, making him one of the most electrifying players in the league. His rushing yards in 2025, which topped 200 yards, and his ability to scramble out of pressure have kept defenses guessing. But the Ravens have often faced criticism for their passing game's inconsistency and lack of offensive firepower when compared to high-octane AFC competitors like Kansas City or Buffalo. The team's recent offensive stats reveal a team that's been solid but not elite. In 2025, Baltimore's passing offense ranked around 15th in the league, with a total of approximately 800 passing yards and a 62% completion rate. Their yards per attempt hovered around 7.4, which is respectable but leaves room for improvement. Their offensive line has been a mixed bag. While they've had moments of stability, injuries and inconsistent play have hampered their ability to sustain long drives and generate big plays through the air. Defensively, Baltimore remains a force, especially in the secondary and linebacker core. With Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams patrolling the back end, the Ravens have consistently been among the league's best in pass defense, allowing an average of just 185 passing yards per game in 2025. Their front seven, led by Patrick Queen and Odafe Oweh, has been effective at pressuring quarterbacks, with a combined sack total of 42 last season. This defensive prowess is a cornerstone of their identity and is likely to remain a key component of their success, regardless of offensive changes. The potential acquisition of Justin Herbert. A deep dive asterisk now, let's shift our focus to the star of this potential blockbuster, Justin Herbert. Drafted 6th overall in 2020 out of Oregon, Herbert has rapidly established himself as one of the league's premier young quarterbacks. His arm talent, football IQ, and composure under pressure have drawn comparisons to elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Over his first 4 seasons, Herbert has amassed over 2,500 passing yards, 142 touchdowns, and a 65% completion rate, all while demonstrating the ability to make big throws under duress. In 2025, Herbert threw for 220 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions, showcasing his growth and consistency. His deep ball accuracy, which hovers around 52% on throws 20-plus yards, combined with his pocket awareness, makes him an ideal franchise quarterback. His ability to extend plays with his mobility, rushing for over 300 yards last season, adds an extra dimension to his game. However, Herbert's injury history is a point of concern. He suffered a shoulder injury in 2025 that limited him to just 4 games, but when healthy, he demonstrated the capacity to carry a team and elevate his performance in clutch moments. The Chargers, with their 7-10 finish in 2025, struggled particularly on defense, where they allowed an average of 27 points per game. Their offensive line, which graded at just 58.6 according to PFF, was frequently overwhelmed, leading to Herbert's injury and inconsistent protection. Why would the Chargers trade Herbert? The Chargers, under head coach Brandon Staley, are in a strategic rebuild after a disappointing season. They have approximately $22 million in cap space for 2026 and are keen on reallocating resources to bolster their defense and offensive line. Their defense, which ranked 18th overall in points allowed and 21st in yards allowed, needs a major overhaul, especially in the secondary and pass rush. The team's pass rush, with just 38 sacks in 2025, was underwhelming, and they need to develop or acquire more pass-rushing talent. Trading Herbert makes sense in this context. The Chargers are eyeing a rebuild that involves acquiring multiple draft picks to build through the draft and develop a roster depth that can sustain long-term success. The deal reportedly involves multiple first-round picks from 2026 and 2027, along with a conditional third-round pick. This haul would give the Chargers significant draft capital to select a new QB, possibly a top prospect in the upcoming draft, or to select other impact players to rebuild their roster. Furthermore, freeing up approximately $48 million in cap space by trading Herbert allows the Chargers to pursue other free agents and retain core players. The move signals a strategic shift from trying to compete immediately to building for the future. Their interest in drafting a young quarterback aligns with their goal of establishing a long-term franchise centerpiece. What does this mean for Baltimore? For Baltimore, acquiring Herbert would be nothing short of a franchise-altering move. Currently, Lamar Jackson remains under contract, but his future has been a subject of speculation due to injury concerns and contract negotiations. The addition of Herbert, a player with a similar dual-threat skill set but with a more prolific passing profile, could create a quarterback controversy or, more likely, a quarterback competition that pushes both players to elevate their game. The Ravens' offensive strategy would shift significantly with Herbert in the fold. While Jackson's mobility and improvisational skills would still be vital, Herbert's pocket passing, arm strength, and ability to throw accurately on the run would open up new offensive schemes. The Ravens could transition into a more balanced attack, blending Jackson's rushing prowess with Herbert's passing ability, making them a nightmare for defenses to scheme against. Statistical and analytical insights. Let's analyze some key statistics to understand the potential upgrade. Herbert's career averages: passing yards, 2,500 plus over 4 seasons, touchdowns, 142 interceptions, 44 completion rate, 66. 8% yards per attempt, 7.9 rushing yards, over 300 in 2025, * Lamar Jackson's 2025 stats, * passing yards, 3 800-plus touchdowns, 24 interceptions, 7 completion rate, 65% yards per attempt, 7.4 rushing yards. 1-200. The comparison shows that Herbert offers a higher passing volume and a more consistent deep ball, which could translate to more explosive plays and higher scoring potential. The Ravens' current passing efficiency is solid but not elite. Herbert's addition could push it into the top tier, elevating their overall offensive output. Advanced metrics like expected points added, EPA, also favor Herbert. His EPA per throw is higher than Jackson's, indicating that each of his passes adds more value on average. His ability to generate big plays, passes of 20-plus yards, would complement Baltimore's strong running game led by Gus Edwards and the versatile Brian Robinson Jr., who surpassed 300 rushing yards in 2025. Deep dive into the players mentioned * Justin Herbert. A prototypical pocket passer with a big arm, Herbert's blend of accuracy and mobility makes him one of the league's most promising young quarterbacks. His leadership qualities and calm demeanor under pressure have earned him respect in the locker room. His biggest challenge has been staying healthy, but when on the field, he has shown he can elevate an offense. Lamar Jackson. The 2019 NFL MVP, Jackson revolutionized the quarterback position with his dual-threat ability. His rushing yards and ability to extend plays have kept defenses honest. However, he has faced criticism for his passing consistency and durability, which may influence the Ravens' decision-making moving forward. Mark Andrews. Baltimore's star tight end Andrews is a key target for both Jackson and, potentially, Herbert. His route running and hands make him a reliable security blanket, especially in clutch situations. His presence on the field would significantly benefit any quarterback. Gus Edwards and Brian Robinson Jr. The Ravens' ground game remains a cornerstone of their offense. Edwards, returning from injury, and Robinson, a 300-yard rusher in 2025, provide a potent rushing attack that can set up play-action passes and keep defenses honest. Historical significance and future expectations. The NFL has seen numerous quarterback trades and acquisitions that have reshaped franchises. The trade of Brett Favre to the Jets in 2008, for example, set off a domino effect that led to the Green Bay Packers' resurgence. Similarly, the Russell Wilson trade to Denver in 2022 changed the AFC West landscape. But a move like this, pairing a young, high-ceiling quarterback like Herbert with a franchise like Baltimore, could be one of the most impactful in recent memory. If this deal materializes, the Ravens' immediate goal would be to integrate Herbert smoothly into their offensive system. Given his familiarity with complex offensive schemes from Oregon and his ability to read defenses pre-snap, the transition could be seamless. The coaching staff, led by John Harbaugh and offensive coordinator Todd Monken, would have a wealth of options to craft a dynamic and unpredictable attack. In terms of future expectations, the Ravens' Super Bowl odds would skyrocket. Based on current betting lines, they're sitting around +60, but with Herbert, those odds could shorten dramatically, potentially to around +20 or better, making them serious contenders in 2026. Their chances of making deep playoff runs would improve, especially if they can leverage Herbert's arm talent to outscore high-powered offenses like Kansas City and Buffalo. Impact on AFC North and league-wide implications. The AFC North has been a fiercely competitive division, with the Steelers, Bengals, and Ravens often battling for supremacy. The addition of Herbert could shift the balance of power. The Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, are already a formidable force, but Baltimore with Herbert could pose a new challenge. The Steelers, under Mike Tomlin, always find ways to contend, but the quarterback position has been a question mark. The Browns, with Deshaun Watson, remain a wild card. In the broader AFC, the Ravens would be entering a new echelon of contenders. Teams like Kansas City, Buffalo, and Miami are already elite. Baltimore's upgrade at quarterback could elevate their standing, making them a team to beat in the AFC playoffs. The other side. Why the Chargers might make this move for the Chargers. Trading Herbert might seem counterintuitive, but it's a strategic decision rooted in their long-term vision. They're aiming to build through the draft, rebuild their defense, and possibly focus on acquiring a next-generation quarterback from the college ranks. The deal for multiple first-round picks could accelerate their rebuild and give them more flexibility in free agency. The decision also hinges on the Chargers' assessment of Herbert's injury risk and their confidence in their ability to develop a new quarterback. If they believe they can draft a top-tier QB in 2026, this trade makes sense as a way to kickstart their rebuild. Final thoughts and outlook. This potential trade is more than just a player swap. It's a statement. It signals that Baltimore is willing to make bold moves to pursue greatness, just as they did when they drafted Lamar Jackson and built a championship-winning team around him. It also signifies that the Chargers are willing to shake things up and prioritize long-term success over immediate contention. For fans of the Ravens, this news sparks hope. hope for a new era of explosive offense and deep playoff runs. For the league, it signals that the offseason will be filled with big moves, surprises, and strategic gambles. In conclusion, if the rumors are true and this trade becomes reality, the NFL's landscape will be forever changed. The Ravens could be on the verge of their next Super Bowl run, powered by a dual-threat quarterback duo that could redefine offensive football. The AFC North, already one of the league's toughest divisions, will now have a new king in the making. Ravens fans, stay tuned and keep that passion alive, because the future might just be brighter than ever. Character count 10-102.